Darth, Theorist, rise.
What if Yoda went with Obi-Wan to Mustafar? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The Jedi Temple's emergency lighting casts harsh shadows across the meditation chamber's holographic display as security footage plays in merciless detail. Obi-Wan stands frozen, watching his former Padawan lead clone troopers through scarred halls, his lightsaber cutting down Jedi who trusted him with their lives. Behind him, Master Yoda leans heavily on his gimer stick, his ancient ears drooping as the recording shows Anakin kneeling before a hooded figure in the Chancellor's office.
I can't watch anymore. Twisted by the dark side, young Skywalker has become. The boy you trained. Gone, he is. Consumed by the dark side.
Send me to kill the Emperor. I cannot kill Anakin.
Strong enough to face the Emperor you are. But right you are, about one thing. Alone face them we should not. Connected they are, master and apprentice. Defeat one while the other lives, and stronger the other becomes. Found apprentices Palpatine once had. Do that again he may. Strong with the dark side young Skywalker has become. Feel his pain and rage, I can. But distant he is. Know his location. We must.
You think we can save him?
Save him, perhaps not. But end this threat before it consumes the galaxy. We must. Together.
Master, the Emperor will consolidate his power while we're gone.
Power built on lies easily crumbles. But the Chosen One, trained in hatred, thousands of years, such darkness can last. End it now we must, before beyond reach it grows.
But Master, we don't know where he is. The tracking systems were wiped when the temple fell.
Know his location, someone does. Close to him, she remains. Speak with Senator Amidala, we must.
An hour later, in the elegant corridors of Padme's Coruscant apartment, the weight of galactic crisis presses against polished walls and soft lighting. Padme sits alone, rigidly, in her receiving chambers, her hands folded protectively over her pregnant belly as she faces the two Jedi Masters. Padme, I'm sorry to ask this of you, but we need to know where Anakin is gone.
He's on Mustafar. But please, Master Kenobi, don't hurt him. There must be another way.
Love him still, you do. Strong the bond between you remains. Help us reach him. This love might.
Then let me go to him first. Let me try to bring him home.
Padme, he's dangerous now. What he's done...
He's still the man I married. Somewhere beneath that darkness, Anakin still exists. I have to believe that.
Right, you may be. Feel the conflict in him. I do. Storm of rage and pain. But beneath, yes, love remains. Hidden, but present.
Let me speak to him as his wife, not as judge. If I can't reach him...
Wisdom in this there may be. But dangerous this path is. Protective we must remain.
They coordinate their approach with the precision of a military operation. Padme will depart immediately in her personal cruiser, while Yoda and Obi-Wan follow in Senator Organa's ship, timing their arrival to give her the chance she requests while ensuring they can intervene if needed. Later, aboard Senator Organa's ship, they hurtle through hyperspace toward the volcanic world. Obi-Wan sits in the pilot's seat, his hands steady on the controls despite the turmoil in his heart. Beside him, Yoda meditates quietly, preparing for what may be the most crucial confrontation of his 900-year life. Bail Organa approaches from the ship's communication station.
Masters, I've been monitoring Imperial communications. Palpatine has declared martial law across the core worlds. Every moment you're away from Coruscant.
Concerned about politics, you are. But politics, meaningless they become if darkness absolute rules the galaxy.
The ship drops out of hyperspace, and Mustafar fills the viewport. A world of molten fury that seems to pulse with malevolent life.
Strong with the dark side, this place is. But strength in darkness. Fragile, it can be. Depend on fear and anger, it does. Take away the source,
and the foundation crumbles. They touch down on the same landing platform where Padme's sleek Naboo cruiser already waits. Through the ship's sensors, they detect two life forms on the main platform, one blazing with dark side energy, the other radiating fear and desperate love. As they descend the ramp, Padme's voice carries across the industrial complex, filled with the kind of anguish that has toppled empires and redeemed souls. Anakin's face carries no trace of the young man who once laughed at council meetings and worried about passing his trials. Yellow eyes burn with the cold fire of the Sith.
You ask me to abandon my destiny. I have become more powerful than any Jedi has ever dreamed of.
Anakin. The fallen Jedi's yellow eyes lock onto his former master, and for just a moment something flickers in their depths. Pain, perhaps, or the ghost of old affection. But then his gaze shifts past Obi-Wan, and his expression transforms into something far more dangerous.
You brought him with you?
They care for you.
No, they don't.
Behind Obi-Wan, the Grand Master of the Jedi Order steps into the hellish light of Mustafar's volcanic glow. His presence seems to push back the oppressive darkness, not through overwhelming power, but through the simple, unshakable certainty of 9 centuries spent in service to the light.
The path you walk ends only in shadow, young Skywalker. Turn back, you still can.
Anakin's face contorts with rage that has been building for weeks. Rage at the Council's secrets, at Obi-Wan's perceived betrayals, at his own choices that led to this moment. But underneath the fury lies something else. Fear at facing judgment from the one Jedi whose wisdom he can never quite dismiss.
I will never turn back. You have no idea what I've sacrificed, what I've become.
His lightsaber ignites. The weapon hums with barely contained violence, eager for the blood of those who dare challenge its master.
Then you leave us no choice. Chose this path, you have. But alone in darkness, walk it you will not. Stand with my friend, I do.
The clash of lightsabers rings across Mustafar's volcanic landscape as 3 weapons ignite simultaneously. Anakin's blue blade meeting the blue and green energy of his former masters. The sound echoes off the industrial mining complex, mixing with the steady rumble of lava flows and the mechanical groaning of superheated metal under stress. Obi-Wan engages Anakin directly, their familiar rhythm immediately apparent despite the years and darkness that separate them. Every strike and parry carries the weight of shared history. Training sessions in the temple corridors, battles fought side by side across a dozen worlds, the comfortable partnership of master and apprentice that had defined both their lives. But Anakin fights with a ferocity that transcends mere aggression. His blade work has evolved beyond the techniques Obi-Wan taught him, each strike powered by raw hatred and the intoxicating strength that flows from the dark side. His yellow eyes burn with cold fire as he processes his attack across the metal grating.
You never understood me. None of you did.
I understood that you were afraid. I should have helped you face that fear instead of pretending it didn't exist.
Behind them, Yoda moves with a different purpose entirely. The ancient Jedi Master doesn't join the duel directly. Instead, he extends his awareness into Mustafar's unstable environment, using micro-telekinesis to control the chaos that threatens to overwhelm the platform. A section of overheated piping explodes near Anakin's head, spraying superheated steam that should have blinded him. Yoda's gesture redirects the scalding vapor harmlessly into the volcanic air. When falling debris from a collapsing support beam threatens to crush Obi-Wan, the Ancient Master's subtle force push sends the twisted metal tumbling into the lava flow instead.
Control the battlefield. We must. Let his rage work against him.
The strategy becomes apparent as Anakin grows increasingly frustrated. Every environmental advantage he attempts to seize vanishes before he can exploit it. Chunks of volcanic rock that he hurls with the Force are deflected away from his targets. Machinery that he tries to collapse onto his opponents mysteriously falls at a crucial moment.
Fight me yourself, old fool. Stop hiding behind tricks.
Tricks, you call them. Protect the innocent. A Jedi's duty it is. Even when that innocent has forgotten his own name and nature.
The words hit Anakin with unexpected force. For just a moment, his aggressive advance falters as something flickers behind his yellow eyes. Confusion, perhaps, or the ghost of the young man who once sought the Ancient Master's approval. But the moment passes, replaced by deeper fury, as Anakin realizes that Yoda's words carry genuine compassion rather than mockery.
I don't want your pity. I don't want your protection.
Across the galaxy, on Coruscant, Chancellor Palpatine feels the disturbance through his connection to his apprentice. The dark side bond that links master and apprentice carries emotional echoes across light years. Pain, desperation, and something far more alarming. Palpatine sits in his private office, reviewing legislation that will transform the Republic into his empire, when the sensation hits him with the force of a physical blow. Through Vader's eyes, he glimpses blue and green lightsaber blades. Through Vader's ears, he hears Yoda's unmistakable cadence.
Impossible. They should be separated, weakened, easy to defeat individually.
His aide approaches nervously, aware that the Chancellor's mood has shifted from satisfaction to something far more dangerous.
Sir, your next appointment.
Cancel everything. Prepare my shuttle immediately, and scramble the Shadow Fleet.
On Mustafar, the intensity of combat escalates as Anakin senses his master's distress through their bond. The knowledge that Sidious fears for his safety should be reassuring, but instead it feeds his rage. The implication that he might be losing to his former teachers cuts deeper than any lightsaber wound.
I am more powerful than either of you. I am the chosen one.
Power without wisdom is just destruction, Anakin.
You've become everything we swore to fight against.
The duel carries them from the main platform into the mining facility's interior corridors. Anakin's rage-fueled strength allows him to carve through blaster doors and support pillars, forcing Obi-Wan to fight defensively while debris rains around them. But Yoda's protective influence follows them inside. When Anakin attempts to bring down a massive overhead crane to crush his former master, invisible force pressure prevents the machinery from falling. When he tries to rupture a coolant line to create a toxic gas cloud, the damaged pipe mysteriously seals itself.
Understand, to you. Fighting the dark side we are, not you alone.
The distinction enrages Anakin further, but also weakens him. His attacks become wilder, less controlled, fueled by emotional chaos rather than tactical precision. The roar of approaching engines announces new arrivals. Palpatine's sleek shuttle descends through Mustafar's sulphurous atmosphere, flanked by TIE fighters from the Shadow Fleet. The Imperial craft touches down on elevated platforms overlooking the mining complex, their ramps lowering to disgorge red-robed guards and the Emperor himself. Palpatine steps onto Mustafar's surface for the first time, his yellow eyes surveying the battlefields where his carefully laid plans hang in the balance. Through the facility's transparisteel windows, he can see his apprentice being systematically overwhelmed by the opponents who refuse to fight fairly.
Master Yoda, how good of you to come so far from Coruscant. I trust you've found my apprentice educational.
Yoda emerges from the facility's shadow, his ancient lightsaber ignited and humming with deadly precision.
Educational? Yes. See how fear corrupts. Useful this lesson has been. But end this corruption, we will.
We shall see who ends what, my diminutive friend.
The Emperor ignites his own crimson blade. Behind him, his guards take defensive positions while overhead, TIE fighters circle in tight patrol patterns.
You make the same mistake the Jedi always make, assuming that righteousness equals victory.
The duel that erupts between them carries none of the emotional weight of Obi-Wan and Anakin's confrontation. This is purely strategic. Two masters of the Force fighting for incompatible visions of galactic order. Inside the facility, Obi-Wan hears the clash of sabers outside and realizes that the true battle for the galaxy's future has only just begun.
Your master has arrived to save you. Is that the strength you boast about? Needing rescue from an old man?
The taunt strikes home, and Anakin's next attack carries enough fury to shatter Durasteel. Under Mustafar's hellish sky, Master faces apprentice while the galaxy's greatest enemies duel for the right to shape its destiny. Inside the mining facility's central control platform, Obi-Wan and Anakin's duel reaches its crescendo. Amid sparking machinery and rivers of molten metal that flow beneath transparent aluminum flooring, steam rises in choking clouds as their lightsabers clash again and again, each strike carrying the weight of a relationship that once defined both their lives. Anakin presses his advantage with renewed fury, drawing his strength from the dark side energies that permeate Mustafar's corrupted atmosphere. His blue blade carves through support columns and control panels with reckless abandon, caring nothing for the structural damage his rampage causes.
I hate you. You turned her against me. You turned them all against me.
Obi-Wan parries desperately, his blue blade moving in the defensive patterns of Form 3 that have kept him alive throughout 1,000 battles. But this time, his heart breaks with every block and counterstrike.
You have done that yourself. Your anger and your lust for power have already done that.
The duel carries them up a spiraling catwalk that winds around the facility's central processing column. Below them, machinery churns molten ore while automated systems continue their programmed functions, obvious to their life and death struggle occurring above. Obi-Wan reaches the catwalk's highest point first, gaining the advantage. He turns to face his former apprentice, who stands 3 meters below on a floating platform surrounded by lava flow.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Anakin's yellow eyes blaze with the arrogant certainty. Even now, facing inevitable defeat, his pride will not allow him to admit weakness.
You underestimate my power. Don't try it.
But Anakin launches himself upward, his lightsaber raised to strike down the master who once saved his life. Time slows as Obi-Wan's blade moves in a precise arc, severing limbs. Anakin crashes to the dark sand beside the lava river, his lightsaber clattering beyond reach. He writhes in agony, his mechanical arm lost to the molten flow while his legs end in cauterized stumps. The physical pain is nothing compared to the rage that consumes his remaining strength.
I hate you. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
The fallen Jedi lies motionless as lava flows closer to his broken form. The superheated rock approaches with inexorable patience, promising an agonizing death that would satisfy the dark side's hunger for suffering. But Master Yoda's intervention comes without warning or hesitation. His small hand extends from the facility's entrance, An invisible force pressure lifts Anakin away from the approaching flames. Not gently. There is no tenderness in that gesture, but with the clinical efficiency of preventing unnecessary cruelty.
Justice, not torture, defines us. Fall to their level. We will not.
Obi-Wan stares at his former apprentice's unconscious form, wrestling with emotions too complex for easy resolution. Grief, anger, love, and the terrible knowledge that he has just crippled someone who was once closer to him than a brother. From the elevated platform above, Emperor Palpatine watches with cold satisfaction, his yellow eyes reflecting the volcanic glow.
How touching. The great Jedi Master shows mercy to a child killer.
Obi-Wan emerges from the facility, his face streaked with tears and volcanic ash. When he sees the Emperor standing calmly above them, grief transforms into pure rage.
You did this to him. You corrupted a good man.
I merely revealed what he always was. The boy chose power over weakness, strength over sentiment.
His crimson lightsaber ignites with a sound that seems to make the very air tremble.
And now I choose to end the last remnants of your failed order.
The Emperor launches himself forward with inhuman speed, his blade seeking Obi-Wan's heart, but Yoda intercepts with impossible quickness, their sabers meeting in a shower of sparks that illuminates the hellish landscape.
Failed. The order has not. Endure it will. Fall. You must.
Bold words from a relic. Your time is over, old fool.
The duel explodes into frenzied violence. Palpatine's Form 7 strikes with the brutal efficiency, each movement designed to overwhelm through sheer aggression, but facing two opponents changes everything. Obi-Wan circles to Palpatine's flank, his blue blade moving in Sarasu's patient patterns. When the Emperor commits to a devastating overhead strike against Yoda, Obi-Wan's blade darts forward, forcing Palpatine to twist away at the last second.
Cowards! Face me one at a time.
Honor in numbers, there is. Learn this from the Sith. We have.
The Ancient Master flows seamlessly into Ataru, his small frame becoming a green blur that forces Palpatine to retreat. But the Emperor adapts quickly, switching to Makashi's precision to counter Yoda's acrobatic assault.
You think coordination will save you? I have had decades to perfect my hatred.
Force lightning erupts from his free hand, splitting between both targets. Yoda absorbs the energy meant for him, while Obi-Wan deflects desperately, his Sarasu training pushed to its absolute limits.
Master, the power coupling behind him.
Yes. Drive him back. We must.
Both Jedi coordinate their assault. Yoda's Form 4 carries him high above Palpatine's guard, while Obi-Wan's Form 3 holds the center, their combined pressure forcing the Emperor towards the mining platform's electromagnetic equipment.
Clever, but not clever enough.
The Emperor unleashes his full power, not just lightning, but a crushing wave of telekinetic force that sends both Jedi skidding backwards. The platform itself buckles under the assault as Palpatine's rage tears chunks from the industrial machinery.
I have spent thousands of years perfecting the dark side. You are insects before a god.
He launches into a spinning attack that blends all 7 forms, his crimson blade moving too fast for the eye to follow. Obi-Wan's defense cracks. The Emperor's blade carves a burning line across his shoulder, sending him stumbling.
Fall, my friend, will not.
The Ancient Master's green blade intercepts Palpatine's killing stroke, but the impact drives him to his knees. For a moment, it seems the Emperor's power might prove overwhelming, but Obi-Wan finds new strength in desperation, switching from Sarasu to Ataru. He launches himself at Palpatine's exposed flank with suicidal intensity.
For every Jedi you murdered, for every child you destroyed.
His blue blade forces Palpatine to abandon an assault on Yoda, creating the opening the Ancient Master needs. With perfect timing, Yoda channels the Emperor's own lightning into the platform's power coupling.
Impossible. You cannot.
The feedback explosion tears through the metal framework. Electrical energy seeks the nearest dark side conduit, Palpatine himself, as his own power turns against him with mechanical inevitability.
The dark side is eternal.
It will find new vessels.
Eternity, perhaps, but not today. Ended your part in this is.
With a final shriek that echoes across Mustafar's volcanic landscape, the most powerful Sith Lord in galactic history dies in the flames of his own making.
Is it over? Is he really gone?
Gone he is. But heal the galaxy must, and rebuild the Order will.
The silence that follows feels profound after hours of lightsaber combat and the constant rumble of volcanic activity. Yoda stands on a stable ground, his ancient form trembling from exhaustion, but his spirit unbroken. Hours later, as Republic rescue ships descend through Mustafar's atmosphere, the galaxy begins to feel the ripple effects of the Sith Lord's defeat. Across 1,000 worlds, clone commanders receive new orders as their inhibitor chips revert to pre-programmed loyalties. The emergency broadcast codes that Yoda transmitted from the Temple override Palpatine's final commands, restoring the chain of command to legitimate Republic authority. On Coruscant, Senate Emergency Session 1138 convenes in chaos as senators struggle to understand how their Chancellor could have orchestrated the very war he claimed to be ending. But without the Empire's formation, without Vader's enforcement, and without Palpatine's manipulation, the Republic's democratic institution proves stronger than any single tyrant. Anakin Skywalker, sedated and restrained aboard a medical frigate, sleeps deeply as Republic doctors work to stabilize his condition. He will face trials for his crimes, but he will face them alive. A broken man who must confront the consequences of his choices rather than escape them through death. In the ship's observation deck, Padme cradles her newborn twins while Obi-Wan and Yoda look out at the stars. Luke and Leia will grow up in a galaxy where their father's name carries shame rather than terror, but they will grow up free from the tyranny he helped create.
Begin again. The galaxy will. But remember, it must. How easily freedom can be lost. How precious the peace we guard is.
The ancient Jedi Master closes his eyes, feeling the Force flow around them, no longer twisted by Sith manipulations, but clean and bright with possibility. The work of rebuilding will take generations, but for the first time in decades, it can begin in hope rather than fear. Outside the viewport, stars wheel in their ancient patterns, bearing witness to a galaxy where good and evil fought their eternal war, and for once, good had won decisively. Months after Mustafar, the galaxy struggles to stabilize after years of Sith manipulation. The Republic survives, but remains deeply shaken. Anakin Skywalker is held in a secure Alderaanian medical facility, awaiting trial. His prosthetic legs function, but emotional and moral weight leave him confined to a wheelchair. Padme visits with Luke and Leia, and Anakin avoids her gaze, burdened by guilt. His trial becomes the most watched in galactic history. Instead of execution, he receives life imprisonment with eligibility for supervised release after 25 years, dependent on rehabilitation. On Coruscant, emergency elections elevate Mon Mothma to Chancellor. Her first act, the Jedi Restoration Decree, pardons the Jedi Order while establishing oversight to prevent future abuses. Yoda steps down as Grand Master, but remains an advisor. Surviving Jedi gather to rebuild the Order with renewed humility. The Coruscant Accords end the Clone Wars, granting clone citizenship and resettlement. Many choose freedom. Padme balances political duty while raising her children, who grow up knowing their heritage without bearing its weight. Years pass as the Republic reforms. Anakin, aged and reflective, receives an unsupervised visit from Luke and Leia. Yoda passes peacefully, leaving behind a new Jedi code centered on service and humility. The Sith fade into extinction, and the galaxy slowly heals, proving that even a dark legacy can lead to hope. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you'd like to join us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.